Parker picks himself up off the canvas to beat Zhang. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Yes, that's set for July. AJ knocks out Ngannou. And a lot more coming up on Tough Talk Tuesday.
This is the show that has hosted everyone from Sugar Ray Leonard to Keith One-Time Thurman. This is Tough Talk Tonight, brought to you by Heavy Bag Boxing.
Well, another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. As always, I'm your host. Alongside me, we got Sakura, we got Rob, and we got James tonight. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Good to have everybody on. Been a while since we've had more than two or three, so nice to have a full house tonight. Let's talk about this weekend's fights. James, you couldn't even contain it. It was kind of working its way out. I want you to talk again about the Nick Ball and Vargas fight this past weekend. Let's start there.
Well, it was a title defense for Vargas, and in the end, he came out with the draw, so he kept his belt, but he had to fight for it. He had a really good opponent, significantly shorter. Ray Vargas is actually tall for a feather, for 126 pounder, but it was a rough brawl for him. He resorted to body punches that were very effective. I really enjoyed it. Scores were a little bit funky, 110, 116, and then 114, 112. And then the judge in the middle, this third judge, had it 113 for both. So really enjoyed that fight. I love to see featherweights, and I like Ray Vargas. He's pretty cool, and he's not Navarrete, and he's not that Jose Luis Lopez or whoever he is that just fought last weekend. He's a little bit more disciplined. Brings a good fight, so guaranteed fireworks in a sense. It was a good fight. If you haven't watched it, I think you could probably go back on DAZN and pick it up, or maybe on YouTube somewhere. It should be out there. Really highly recommend it.
Yeah, and not enough can be said about Ball. Like you said, I mean, he was definitely the shorter guy. The reach had to have been a lot shorter, but he was able to get inside, able to score often. So I thought it was a close fight. Again, I kind of came in on the middle of that one, but from what I saw, it was a close fight. I don't understand the scorecards. 116, 110 sounds like it was a little wide.
Yeah.
And then 112, 114, that's close enough that I was meh, but you know, we got a split draw out of it. So
I thought Vargas pulled it out, but I'm okay with the draw because I mean, there's three judges there. I'm not going to argue with them. They were there. I wasn't.
For sure. Rob, you mentioned you didn't catch that one necessarily. Sakura, did you see that fight? What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I saw Vargas. It was a very messy type fight, I believe, because I mean, certain times I couldn't tell if he like literally slipped or tripped or whether it was a real knockdown. So, I mean, I thought that, you know, there was a lot of like just rumble tumble type stuff going on. Maybe because of the height difference, I'm not sure. But also the cameras weren't giving us a really good view of like his foot, you know, and positioning when those incidents did happen where they called it a knockdown. But I think he outboxed him. I just think the class showed in the end that jab is key for Vargas in all of his fights. So when he's, you know, got that stick moving and he's keeping you, you know, apart from him, then he's going to be able to control that particular round. And that's what we saw. Every time that, you know, his opponent got close to him, he was able to, you know, clamor or do some wild, you know, I thought they were wild punches, you know, very wide punches that the guy was catching him with. Something like a Pacquiao when he does like a, you know, one of his roundabout right hooks. I felt like that was what I was seeing. But, as long as Vargas kept him outside, there was no problems, and he just outclassed him. But I do feel that, they could have called for some of those, an instant replay in the fight would have been helpful. But then again, that the cameras were not like getting everything that we see here in the US when we see, like production quality. So
That's
Yeah.
the AZN for me.
You're right, though. There was a lot of wrestling going on.
yeah, and
I think Vargas got thrown
No,
down a couple of
he's
times.
got to get in any way that he
Mhm.
can. You know.
Yeah, well, he sure tried. Plus, it doesn't help when these rings, these canvases have so much, signage on them now.
Yeah.
Like there's
Oh yeah.
like they're not slip proof anymore. Where you have the big one in the middle and that's it. Now they're like scattered throughout the whole canvas.
You would think they would make something better so that it's not like a big iron-on type thing. It's almost like just part of the mat, like ink
Mhm.
that absorbs, like sublimation type ink that just absorbs into the mat. That way, they can just not have these issues with the slipping, and then all of a sudden it's a grip. It doesn't work. Ralphie says, "I thought Vargas lost barely, but it's fair enough draw. But I don't see Vargas beating Lopez if they do fight each other." Would you agree to that?
Well, he's talking about that guy they call Venado Lopez or Jose Luis Lopez or Luis Lopez, or I forget. He fought last weekend against a Japanese kid named I forget his first name. His last name is Abe, ABE. And so that was kind of funky. But he's that one guy who comes in throwing all these wild rear, like
Angles.
bolo punches, and not my style.
Oh, he was commentating, wasn't he? On the one he was on the commentating team.
Oh, I didn't see it. I didn't notice that.
There was one guy that was commentating, but he was a fighter and he does that same type of movement. But the one with the curly hair that was I was watching the Skybox, Sky Sports link. So I don't know which version you saw.
Yeah.
But I was watching it on Sky Sports. But yeah, he said he thought Vargas lost. I didn't think he lost, but there again, he may be, looking at those knockdowns or those slips and things like that and thinking that they, actually counted when I don't think some of them did. Because it was, controversial as to whether it was or whether it wasn't. A slip or a push, or whether it was a real knockdown. So
You're right, though. I think if any sport, boxing definitely needs instant replay a lot more. It needs to be utilized. I think it would cause a lot of issues to be absolved. But is Nevada the only one that actually does it now?
You know what? I think a lot of states do that. They can do replay, but now we're running into a lot of the teams, like the corners, not realizing like, hey, that's right, I can do instant replay. Like I could ask for
now the coach can challenge or something. Yeah. The trainer, does the trainer need to be the one that initiates that?
I think so.
I thought it had to be the ref. I thought it had.
Yeah, I wasn't 100%. Now, I did believe it was the ref, but I mean, if the trainer and the coaching corner can ask for that, that would be amazing. That's how it should.
Yeah, because why would the ref do it? I mean, those are usually the people that you're trying to like say did an incorrect call. So.
True. I have had
requested. You would want to, if you're the corner, you could be like, "Hey, that was the wrong call," or can we do replay? And then the ref can let the commission decide whether they will or not. But I mean, a lot of times the ref is not going to do it. It's like that would be like him acknowledging, "Oh, I might have made the wrong call," and they're not going to do that.
Well,
you don't know how right you are.
The only instance I've seen of the replay was the Maloney fight years ago, and it was the referee who called for the replay, not the corner.
Well, I think the corner asked the ref, "Can we do the replay?" Because
that's possible.
Yeah, I think that's how it worked. But Joe Cortez was the one that made sure that that instant replay was brought to the boxing commission and enacted. But he was sick during the time of that particular fight. Well, he was recovering from COVID. And so I think it would have went smoother had he actually been there to, like, you know, say how this was supposed to work. Because remember, it was a lot of like, you know, what do we do or who do we call? Like they were doing a lot of that after it was determined that they did need to do the replay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
but
and
he
locally, I've had Indiana refs after a fight come down, ask to see the replay, but everybody's already gone. So he ain't looking to overturn anything. It was more like, let me make sure I saw what I thought I saw.
Right.
And then he just confirmed it with himself. He's like, oh, I was right. So both times that happened, he was right. My question is what if you saw the opposite of what you thought you saw? Then what happens? Are you going to try to overturn it? I don't know.
There was that one incident where Tony Weeks was involved in a call, and they did a replay, and it took forever. I wish I could tell you what fight it was. It was probably about a year ago, and it took forever. And I don't think they got the right call in the end. Man. But yeah, that was one of Tony Weeks' fights. So shout out to Tony Weeks, TBRE.
All right. Go, Tony.
And so the idea is that, you know, it's like the NFL, you know, generally they get it, but not always.
Not always. Yeah.
Like Sakura said, I mean, you gotta have the right.
Go ahead, Lucas. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, like you said, though, they have to have the right angle, camera angle to get the call. So it don't matter if it ain't on camera.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It happened more than one time before, but it was the boxer trying to say that the opponent hit him after his knee hit the ground, and everybody was like, I didn't see that. So then, but after the fight, that was the boxing commission that came over and asked to see our replay. And so we just backed it up so he could see that, yep, that didn't happen. And, you know, everything was fine. But yeah, I'm wondering, like, what happens when they don't see what they thought they see? And they're like, wait a minute. Oh, shoot, he did hit him. You know what I'm saying? Are they going to really go back and make the change?
Maybe that speaks goodly on the refs that are in boxing in our local areas, because they haven't been wrong yet.
That's true.
Let's keep it moving. Ralphie, I agree. They need a tournament with Woods, Lopez, Vargas, Ramirez, all four. That would be awesome. I think that's a pipe dream right now, unfortunately, just the state of boxing. But
well, another thing is that no matter who wins that tournament, they got to put up a Ray Ford.
Yeah. And what a fight that was recently. So.
Oh yeah, so that was Ray Ford against the Kolmatov, was it?
Yeah, that was a great fight. That was an amazing fight.
Yeah,
because Ford wasn't even on my radar, period. But
yeah, he threw up a
fan now.
I don't think
Mary at the end of the fight and got it. We were talking about that, Sakura. I wanted to point something out right quick. I said that he with 19 seconds left, he got things going.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that it came down to like 9 seconds when the fight was stopped. But what I was referring to was that I was looking at the clock going, this guy's got time to do something big. And it was like 20 seconds, and then all of a sudden he lands that punch and then goes after him. And the funny thing is that if Kolmatov would have taken a knee or fallen or whatever, he gets a standing 8 and burns the clock and probably wins the fight.
Right. Yeah.
That
was an amazing way to win, though. I mean, can you imagine your first championship? You got like 9 seconds left on the 12th round clock, and bam, you have the KO of your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so that's what I'm saying. I think
KO of your dreams.
Well, Parker found himself in a completely different scenario because he got dropped early more than once, had to keep getting up and keep shaking it off and keep outboxing Zhang. Guys, what did you think of that performance? I think Andy Lee has done wonders with Parker. They are making me into a fan. I think this team overall is really, really good. I want to see Parker keep going up the ladder. I wouldn't mind him. Now I don't want to see the Zhang rematch. I'm not going to speak for the rest of you guys and my crew here, but it wasn't a great fight. It was just seeing Parker overcome those knockdowns, overcome the adversity, because he was hurt, quite a bit in that fight. But he was able to box him, keep him off of him. And I mean, Zhang he's just relentless. He's like an Asian George Foreman, right? I mean, he doesn't have a lot of effort behind it. He's kind of slow. He kind of just walks you down and does the 1-2. And what he does really well. But it was not enough, Parker.
The Asian George Foreman. That says it all.
Well, let me just say, finally, we get off these damn featherweights.
You know what? Whatever.
Listen, man, I applaud. I applaud Joseph Parker. I really applaud him for this comeback tour that he's doing. I felt like this was a very tough fight coming off of Deontay Wilder fight, where he did look good and he put Wilder into shame. But then coming off of that fight and having this performance against Zhang, that's really impressive. And pretty much, Lucas, what it's showing me, and it's showing other boxers right now, and I'll probably say this again about Joshua, but being active right now is paying huge dividends for guys like Joseph Parker. And that's why we're seeing him get better and better, because he's very active. He was extremely active last year. And as he continues to grow, he's a true candidate for a title shot. Not a rematch with Zhang. I agree with you. This fight was good. It wasn't great. I think Parker's moving a level above. And a lot of it has to do, yes, with Andy Lee and what Andy Lee is doing for him. But he's very active in the sport right now, unlike the other heavyweights.
Very true. I like his activity. It's been amazing. And I think it is a learning experience and a great example of, like, for younger boxers. So you can be like, hey, see, this is like the difference. This can like pull you out a close fight in the end, like when you're in great shape and your stamina is up and you're used to having repeat fights, not 2 times a year type fights, but just staying active and busy. Every fight is not going to be like top level tier. Like Parker is like definitely having an amazing run and making some money with these matchups he has right now. But I'm sure there was a time in his career where he was facing people and not getting paid that much. But so boxers do need to learn that inactivity is their worst enemy, period, in boxing. But as far as Parker in this fight, I said from the beginning, I was like, Zhang is going to be coming forward. You can hit him with a pickup truck. He's not going anywhere. But he's going to get tired at some point. And when he does, that's the time for you to be ready. And that's exactly what happened with Parker. Like, the second half came and he was able to just outbox him and outmaneuver him. And I mean, hats off to Zhang, because when he's on now. I mean, he's got a big punch and he likes that 1-2. It works for him. Just like it works for Wilder, or it was working for Wilder. You got to have some more fundamentals besides just flat-footedly coming forward at your opponents when you know you don't have the stamina the last 12 rounds and do that.
Well, I mean, did you see the weights for this fight, Shakur? I think he outweighed Parker by like 30 pounds.
He's 291.
Right. He's almost 300 freaking pounds in there.
Damn, he was up there with Fury level. That's Fury likes to come into fights right at hovering around 300. So, I mean, you can absorb a lot when you come in that size, but it's also going to be a super impediment to you when you want to like finish a fight strong.
Yeah, although he's 6'6", that's a lot of weight to carry, because I think in the later rounds, I mean, if you don't get it done by the 6th round, you're in trouble because you got to fight, 7 through 12.
Yeah.
And late in those rounds and late in that fight, 291 pounds is a lot. And actually, you know what? Joe Parker's in really, really good shape. And he's got good hand speed for a heavyweight.
Yeah, that he does. I think that's very underrated. I don't think. I think everybody goes in thinking Parker's a lot slower than what he is. He definitely surprised Zhang with how quick he is. But his work to the body, he didn't give up on the body. He did that throughout the fight. Whereas Zhang he was headhunting for the most part. But that's to be expected, I guess. That's his style. But Parker, if he did go to the body more, you would be able to slow him down, maybe even stop Parker. But there was little to no body game at all for Zhang.
Well,
yeah. Was that credit to Parker, though, because he was moving. He wasn't giving him enough time to really target something, to the body when he was, constantly rotating him and keeping him busy. But like I said, he was still able to land that 1-2. And so that's something Parker in the future can look out for. I'm kind of surprised he got caught with those, being that that's Wilder's whole stick. And he was able to, drop down and slip up under Wilder's 1-2. So I don't really understand why that didn't, trigger in this particular fight with Zhang. But hey, he's the victor, so they can just, I'm sure Andy Lee is just going to keep, honing in on different things and making them even sharper with each fight.
Well, give it up to Joseph Parker for once again showing that weight doesn't mean shit in the heavyweight division.
Oh man, I'm glad you at least said the heavyweight division, okay. so we don't have to have that conversation again.
I just hope that Parker gets another shot at Anthony Joshua, because he lost by unanimous decision in his last fight against him. And so I think he's a better fighter now. I think, his corner is on top of things. They're really bringing out the best in him, really bringing out his qualities as a good fighter. So hopefully he gets that shot. I think Parker Joshua would be pretty cool matchup to watch.
I would definitely watch it again. Parker's, almost rebirth here. He's like a phoenix. He's came back with these last couple of fights and really reinvented himself. A win over Wilder and then Zhang. I mean, that's big. That's big for the sport. He definitely deserves a title shot. It sounds like they have some kind of rematch clause, so he's going to have to take on Zhang again, regardless. So whether we want to see it or not, we're getting it. But
it would have been close if he'd have had more stamina in the second half of the fight. But if he's going to come in there and he's going to still have Zhang is still going to have those same issues. I mean, it's not entertaining after what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's great about boxing is you're not going to get this in an MMA fight, right? Like, not somebody ain't going to get dropped, get down, get dropped again, be able to get back up and finish it. Normally, MMA, you get dropped, you get hammered out, you're done. You know what I mean? You're not allowed to show heart and willpower. This is what makes boxing great. And it's good to see it. The problem is can you imagine surviving Zhang? Because that's kind of what happened. Yeah, he boxed him well, but he did survive it. It's not he didn't end Zhang. He didn't knock him out, right? It's more that he survived him. Now he's got to do it again. I would not be happy about that.
Well, it should regardless. Be next time. It should be way easier for him next time.
Exactly.
Parker.
Exactly. But when you get hit with that tree, I mean, he's just swinging tree trunks, just boom, boom. You get hit once, it don't matter. You get caught slipping just once. It's all it's going to take with Zhang.
Yeah, I mean, I understand exactly what Shakur is saying, and she's right. It should be easier, but again, I'm with Lucas really on this one. I think it is going to be a tough task to ask for him to do it again because, like you said, Shakur, why wasn't he able to slip those punches like he did Wilder? Well, I think it's because, believe it or not, Zhang right now is a much more polished fighter. than what Deontay Wilder is showing. So I do feel like Zhang is a tough task to ask for him to go out there and do it again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope Parker learned from what went wrong in that fight, and you know that's like one of the simplest heavyweight tricks that's out there is the 1-2. So it's like you got big problems if you can't get around a 1-2 with some of these other pound for pound heavyweights, because that's exactly where he's going as he goes up that food chain.
I think if Parker meets Zhang again, he probably retires Zhang.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's got his number. Oh yeah.
I
But
mean,
you got Zhang problems. It's Joe Joyce, right? He might want another rematch.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's something about Zhang, and he's kind of slow motion guy. Well, he's a heavyweight, so it's acceptable in the heavyweight division to be slow motion, Rob. But the idea is that I think Parker got his number, and he might even stop him early.
I'd like to see that.
Parker's got a lot of hand speed.
He does.
Powerful puncher.
He needs it. I'm with Lucas.
I'm pretty sure I could hit Zhang like Sakura said. He could hit Zhang with a truck. I'm not sure he's gonna go down.
Yeah, I think he's got one of them type chins. You know, it's like a Isak Cruz, but a heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the accumulation working him over and a ref stopping it, but him actually getting dropped, that's hard to picture in my head. Rob, what were you?
I mean, I'm with James. I would like to see him do it. I would like to see him elevate his game higher to take out a guy like Zhang even easier next time. I just don't see that happening. I would like to see it. I don't see it happening.
I think if Parker's on his game, he stops him mid-fight, 6, 7, maybe the 8th round.
I mean, that might be a prediction.
I totally see what you guys are seeing is that, he's a tree trunk. Trees go down all the time.
Yeah,
chopping wood.
And sometimes you have to hit him with a car.
just watch the news.
But now I'm looking at Lucas's next topic coming up. Oh boy, here we go with this shit.
Yeah. Where do we start with AJ knocking out Ngannou? One, this is how I thought it would have went with Fury. And now I think more than ever, it's just blatant that Fury just showed up that night. I don't think there was a training involved at all. I think he just showed up to fight Ngannou. And the result is what we got. I think AJ was like, oh no, he ain't doing this to me. Trained properly for this fight. And then just knocked him the hell out. Let's face it, these are two very different things. Boxing and MMA is very different. And I think we found out the hard way that Fury did not prepare for his fight against Ngannou, and AJ did.
Oh, okay. So you're saying Ngannou, did he train for the fight? You think?
Well, no, I definitely think Ngannou still prepared himself. I'm just saying Fury did not in their fight.
Right.
Okay. Let me start on this one because I'm about to do something that may shock and surprise y'all, but I'm about to give Anthony Joshua. AJ tonight stands for Anthony Joshua and not the other nickname that I've given him before in the past.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give Anthony Joshua credit in this one. Yes, do I think Fury didn't train heavily? I don't really think Fury trained hardly at all. But even Fury was at ringside, shocked and surprised at the level that AJ came out and knocked this guy out with. I think that Mr. Joshua finally got his head together for this one. And like Lucas said, decided I'm not going to let this guy come in here and dictate anything in this fight. I'm going to show the world what I'm made of. Regardless of what we think Ngannou is made of or not, because I still think it's questionable really what he can do in this sport. But he was a world champion at UFC and MMA for a reason. He did fight which is what I'm going to call a sparring match with Tyson Fury, the best, in my opinion, the best heavyweight in the world for a reason. Anthony Joshua went out there and said, you know what? This is my time. I'm going to make my mark. And he did it. And he did it with shots heard around the world. So, Mr. Joshua, I'm applauding you tonight. And I will not desecrate your name for right now.
I'm so disappointed in Rob. I'm so disappointed in every way. Ngannou shouldn't have been ranked. The fact that they ranked him was a joke.
But they did.
They did because it's the WBC. You know how it is. But the fact that you rank him and you rank him in the top 10 after a loss to Tyson Fury, and a Tyson Fury that I'm pretty sure
that many people thought he won.
You could see in this fight more, he's a fish out of water in this sport. I don't know if Fury carried him. I don't know if Fury wasn't prepared at all. I don't give a shit, but you can tell clearly in this fight, Ngannou's not prepared for an actual boxing event.
No, the fact is that Joshua was using really, really well. He pulled a little bit and fired, so that was great. It's good technique, but I mean, just simple feints to get his glove down.
It's not like he did anything nuanced. Yeah, he didn't
boxing
do
101.
Exactly. He didn't do anything flashy or surprising, right? This was just boxing. That's all it was. He left himself wide open, and AJ was able to capitalize. That's really all it is.
Shakur, you're my last hope here. Please have my back.
Well, I think that AJ did something very important that I've been noticing a lot of boxers have forgotten, or their trainers have forgotten, and that's that you need to come to the ring and actually be warmed up. Like AJ was warmed up and he was ready to go. He had been back there warming up. He had a little sweat going. You know, he was engines running and very hyped and focused on what his task was with Ngannou. And Ngannou, in return, was sitting on the couch listening to music, chilling before the fight, and he came in ice freaking cold. So, I mean, already you see the perfect setup for like what was about to happen. And I'm actually pretty shocked myself because I just knew Ngannou was maybe trouble for AJ. But the exact opposite happened, which is that AJ shocked the world and knocks him out pretty early in the fight. I mean, and the thing of it is that when he actually hit him, we learned something. We learned that AJ does have some pretty decent damn power.
Yeah.
I can't even say that. That's the problem with this fight.
No,
here we go. Here we go.
When Ngannou got hit, that he was a little lost. When that first punch knocked him down, he was kind of looking like, what the fuck was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. And then, but his second punch hit and ended it. I mean, he was completely out, Lucas. You can't deny that this man was completely out.
They had to give him oxygen.
A knockdown, that was like a KO, knocked out for life type.
I'm not denying
oxygen.
I mean, that means that AJ has got pretty decent power when he decides to use correct technique. I mean, and he actually is warmed up and he's actually in the right state of mind. Like Rob was saying, oh God. He was actually in the right state of mind to be able to execute what his trainers have been trying to teach him, which is openings, which is a catch and shoot. He swing, you pull back and lever back. You know what I'm saying? Like he learned some tricks. Not that he learned some tricks for this fight, but just that he was able to finally execute it on someone. I mean, Ngannou never even had a chance to set up. To me,
look, I mean, it's different.
Trying to warm up.
And everybody said he's got an iron chin. We've seen him in one boxing event, and again, it's hard to have that measuring stick just because we don't know how serious Fury took it. So the chin and his ability to take a punch, I question one, Now, this is different from MMA. You can have a strong chin in MMA because they don't throw with everything that they got because they're gonna break their damn hands. These are small gloves. With boxing gloves and a boxer that knows how to use them, it's already sports science that getting hit with a boxing glove is worse than a bare hand, and it's worse than an MMA glove. Okay, it's just fact. So I mean, being able to throw it. And not only did he throw it, he threw it with that straight with almost everything that AJ had, and it landed about as flush as it could. Right. I mean, anybody's probably going down, let alone somebody that's not into boxing, that hasn't had to get up off the canvas after getting dropped with a shot like that.
Well, so I'm glad to see AJ fighting in that style, because that's one of the things that over the years that I've seen AJ fight, that he was holding back, that he wasn't letting go of those punches, and he wasn't fighting with those intentions.
Scared. Scared. I think he went there and he saw the skill of Ngannou, and it was lackluster, and he's like, I'm gonna take this kid to school. Yeah. And like we talked about with Usyk, I mean, there's just so much skill in Usyk that you're afraid to let your hands go, because as soon as you do, it's wet. Oh, I got hit. I'm going to just keep these here. But you're right. I think if he could throw caution to the wind and he would have came after Usyk like he did Ngannou, he would have been better off, better suited in that fight. Yeah. But it's hard to say that against Usyk because he can make you pay. Ngannou couldn't make him pay.
I think he would be world champion. I have a love-hate relationship with Joshua. I mean, we all know this.
Your nickname says it, yeah.
My nickname says it all. But I'm not going to bring that up tonight because I'm going to give him his just due. This is the Joshua, and it could be because of his opponent, absolutely. But this is the Joshua that we've been wanting to see each and every time he's in the ring. And you know what? It might be because he's very active right now. And I'm going to keep using that because I'm tired of these boxers fighting once or twice per year only. Joshua is very active right now. He's gaining more confidence. He is a threat for that world heavyweight title.
Well, again,
I agree. I actually agree with what Rob is saying. I do think that he is much improved. Okay. And I do feel like he's gaining confidence with each win. And that's what made him be able to come into that ring warmed up and ready to go and execute what he's been taught for many years. He's been on how to do something like that. But he always would fight more timid or reserved. But this time he actually executed the plan. And I think that was something that a lot of his training teams would get frustrated with in the past. It's like, we went over this, we practiced this, we worked towards this. Why didn't you do it? And so I think this is a time where it all worked out for him, and he showed that he does have some different looks that we hopefully can see in the future.
Yeah, but it's against an MMA fighter. Can
he
do this?
My question.
Can he do it against a really, really good heavyweight? That's why I'd like to see him fight Parker.
A top 10 heavyweight, yeah. Top 10.
Yeah, I do think that he can execute the same thing with other boxers. I think that the issue was more mental with AJ than it's been as far as technique. Yeah. And I think that is what has been holding him back. Because nobody likes how you feel when somebody like Ruiz is able to, basically TKO you and make you feel like shit, and you don't even know, you never been hit so bad that you didn't even know how like what you were feeling was like the way you feel when somebody does that. So I mean, I think that lived in his mind for a long time afterwards. Maybe it stopped finally living in his mind enough for him to be able to execute what these trainers have been trying to teach him.
Yeah, I mean, we questioned AJ's toughness, but go ahead, James, sir.
When you look at the field, I think the only possibility out there is Joshua for Parker.
Oh, for Parker?
Yeah. So I think that might be a rematch. Hopefully it would.
I mean, he did
I
not
have to.
perform well in that first AJ Parker fight. Parker did not perform well. Like, I don't know if he was ready for the big lights that fight gave the eyeballs at that time, because he didn't even execute the Parker that we were used to seeing. We didn't see in that fight, for whatever reason. We don't know the ins and outs, because when you're dealing with a promoter and his big A side, you're going into a fight with them. You don't know, like, were you able to even get to the country in time to adjust to the time? Were you told that you needed to be under a certain amount? We don't know all the tricks that these guys play. So if I did see a Joshua Parker fight again, I think it would be great if it could be in somewhere neutral like Saudi. And so it's an even playing field for both guys to be able to get there early, to train, to get adjusted to the time, to come in at their best selves. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when you're putting it on and it's in a favored territory, or it's in a situation where you just the budget isn't such that you can just fly in and be there for a month. Right. You know what I'm saying? You run into issues like that where you're not your best the night of the fight.
Well, hopefully it won't be at 10 a.m. on a damn Friday, okay? Because that to me killed the whole event.
It's messing up American boxing. It's bad enough that the Midwest is slowly kind of clearing out, but now I'm gonna have to go to Saudi to watch it. Let's go to some comments.
That's
Coach Luce. Go ahead, James.
I was gonna say that's what happens when the Saudis hijack our sport.
Oh yeah. Coach Lou said there's a reason why we say stay in your lane. That's to Ngannou. Go back to MMA, basically. That's what Coach Lou said. I agree.
Okay.
CJ, Ngannou, after he got up from the first knockdown and just stood there and waited for the damn punch, didn't try to clinch or nothing. Ngannou on his own right said, he got hit so hard that last one. He said they were asking how bad his head hurt. He said, I didn't feel no pain. He said, I didn't even know I should feel pain. He was knocked out.
They had to distribute oxygen to him in the ring.
Yeah, and in the first punch, he said he didn't feel it because they asked him how was Joshua's punching power? How did it? And he was like, I don't even remember. I didn't feel anything.
Too quick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of techniques that heavyweights employ. When they come up off the canvas, and you got to clinch and do a lot of things and move. And anyway, a guy coming from MMA, you just don't know. You just don't have those skills. You have power, you have conditioning, you got balls, and that's just not enough. You got to do the sport.
I mean,
they're seasoned fighters.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they have training in boxing, but they teach them a different way of throwing off punches and things like that don't work when you actually have to do orthodox boxing. You know what I'm saying? The discipline is totally different how it's taught with them. But not to say Ngannou can't do something in this sport, but I mean, they are pushing him to fight the best of the best in his first 2 outings. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're setting him up to fail.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're seasoned fighters, seasoned boxers that don't know how to clinch properly, that don't know when to take a knee. That stuff comes with great experience and great training. And you're not going to see that from guys like Ngannou that did not start in this sport. Brett Reed says Fury is going to duck AJ now, since AJ could actually outbox the cross. I don't buy into that. I don't believe that for a second.
Fury is wanting that fight.
Yeah, I think that's a big money fight. And let's face it, AJ. Maybe he's reinvented himself. We'll have to wait to see, because again, it's all against Ngannou. We'll wait and see what he does against the top tier heavyweight, and then we'll talk further about that. CJ, he got knocked out like Larry Holmes did with Mike Tyson, leg behind the back.
Yeah, that was hurtful looking. The way he fell back with his legs bent. Oh, man, it looked painful.
I'm sure it was. He can't beat Usyk still. He better hope Fury wins over Usyk, or he won't be smelling a title fight for a long time. I agree with you there. In fact, I think if Usyk beats Fury, we don't even see a rubber match. There is no reason for a third fight. I don't see a reason for one. Brett Reed, ref kept breaking them apart once AJ went to clinch versus Parker.
That was to the first
Oh,
fight.
to the first fight. Okay.
Right.
That's true too. I remember that.
Hey,
I mean, but what Brett is saying about
Coach
Fury,
Lou, what is Coach Lou trying to say here?
that Fury situation, he is itching and loving the fact that there's that actual build up to have this great UK versus UK fight. You know what I'm saying? And one is brash, and AJ is like, well, wants to be all class. So it would be amazing to see the shit talking that Fury's just going to be able to like go off and say whatever he wants, because AJ's just going to be like, I don't like people that talk shit.
Well, he's different.
Yeah.
He's very classy.
Yeah, we got to see if Anthony Joshua shows up that night or if Ass Juice shows up. That's all.
I thought you were going to say it. I thought you were going to say it tonight.
We got to say if it's AJ or if it's Ass Juice AJ.
Okay, so we're going to go from this, I consider it an exhibition, to another exhibition type fight, which I think everybody that is even remotely knows about boxing has heard. Jake Paul is going to be taking on Mike Tyson, and it's set for July. Now, all of the rules have still not been completely narrowed in. We don't know if it's an exhibition. There's rumors that headgear is involved. I think that started out that way with other fights, right? With like him versus Roy Jones. Yes. And it slowly went away. I think it will still go away, because who wants to watch two men spar, especially somebody that's 60 years old and somebody that's half his age, not even half his age, I don't think. No. Guys, one, are you happy? Because you have two sets of people. You have two sets of people that hate this fight, just despise it, don't want it to happen. And you have people that are kind of excited. Like, I hope Mike Tyson annihilates Jake Paul. Which side are we on, guys?
No, what did you mean when you said like no? Like, that's what we got to start with. So like, when you said like, you said Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, like no. What you saying like no? What?
What do you mean?
Like he's saying that people are basically he's saying people are either disgusted, they're either disgusted or they're happy.
Or they're happy
extremely in extreme disgust versus extreme happiness.
Right.
Listen,
there's a lot of celebrities out here saying that they don't want to see Mike Tyson get knocked out by somebody who claims to know boxing, and he don't really know boxing, right?
Listen,
you're ruining his honor.
He said that
by doing this.
Learning boxing. He is trying to learn more as he goes, and we should respect that. But shouldn't he respect Mike Tyson? My thing is like, who's going to be extremely pissed off that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are going to make more money than they could have made in a lifetime? Like, to me, that's just haterade.
Me? What if?
Okay. What if Mike gets severely hurt?
Right. Let me tell you why, Shakura. Because I don't want to sit here and say the great Iron Mike Tyson got knocked out by some Disney character. Okay.
Why would you even come to that conclusion that that's what's going to happen when we just talked about how a novice can't fight a real boxer?
I've been arguing with people all week, y'all.
How much better Mike Tyson is, then it seems to me that your logical result you would think about is Mike Tyson knocking Jake Paul's head off.
No, I've been arguing with people about that all week. Y'all are delusional. The man is 58.
No, I'm saying
he's 58.
What I said is based on what you're saying, like the honor and the respect of Mike Tyson and how great he is. Why is your conclusion that Jake Paul is the one that's gonna,
because he's 58. He's not a boxer anymore.
Why do you guys even think this is gonna be like a real fight? Like, this is gonna be exhibition.
Exhibition.
Without the headgear, just like
the problem is,
and he still can get hurt.
It's the ABC that dictates how all the states, they all follow ABC. And that is the Association of Boxing Commissions. That is what they follow. So it's already been deemed that they're not going to allow a 50-something-year-old man to have a real professional bout with anybody.
That's what they are seeking, though. They are seeking that in Texas.
Whatever they want to.
Exhibition means less money. Exhibition means it doesn't go on the record, and exhibition means I'm slightly more okay with it. But for it to go on record as a loss for Mike Tyson to fight Jake Paul, I can't stomach that. I can't see Mike Tyson's professional record with fucking Jake Paul at the end of it. I can't see that.
Me neither.
Okay? I don't want to see that. Okay. I don't want to see that shit. That's bullshit. It's dishonorable of Jake Paul to even do this.
Wait a minute.
Dishonorable that he's been doing it the way he has
Tyson
been.
is down with it. You're saying it's disrespectful for Jake Paul when Mike Tyson is like, yeah, let's get this money. He's the one that said he has to agree to this fight, and he did. Guess what? He signed on the line. Yeah, let's do this. But I mean, you're gonna get upset and angry about something that hasn't even been officially called a professional bout yet. Guess what? If it was gonna be a professional bout, okay, we would have already heard about it. It would have already been official, and it would have already been on Fox.
Not necessarily. A lot of this stuff takes a while to get ironed out.
Because it's not going to happen. That's why. Like,
it's impossible. I mean, for Mike Tyson to have a professional bout is impossible. He's 58 years old. It's not going to happen.
It should be, James. I agree. But
they're trying to hype up the fight and make it seem like it's like a real fight. Like,
but listen, y'all, if y'all don't
talking about this shit earlier that don't watch boxing, talking about Mike Tyson's gonna knock that dude out. I was
everybody's saying that, and that's why it's sad, because exhibition or not, you don't think Jake Paul wants to knock him out? Even if it's not on his record, Jake Paul wants to knock him out. Why? Because then he gets to go back and tell his millions and millions of fans that I knocked out Mike Tyson.
Hold on. So Sakura, are you saying it's not going to be like when he fought these ex-MMA fighters? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. It ain't going to be like that?
I think it's going to be like the Roy Jones. I think it's going to be like the exhibitions they had in Florida with, Holyfield and these characters where,
Holyfield got knocked out.
You're not only, and that was like a big deal here, like that was allowed to actually transpire. To
tell you thing.
But I'm just telling you, like that is supposed to be more like, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it. I ain't gonna say it, but I'm gonna just say I would not think about this being a professional bout. I think that's against ABC rules, and they're not gonna allow much punching in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Strictly entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment, just like the rest of them. But I mean, they don't want to say exhibition because they feel like that's what might have had an impact on him versus Roy Jones. Is when people found out like that it's not a real fight, because novices don't understand. Like, you're dealing with somebody in their 50s, dude. Like, you can't expect them to be allowed to, get hit in the head.
The way y'all are talking, then they might as well put this shit on WWE. Because y'all are acting like it's scripted. What y'all are acting like.
It's on Netflix, and WWE is a new contract. So you make sense of it.
The Roy Jones fight, they seem to hold Tyson back. I think Tyson was actually wanting to go a little harder. And he felt like he did have some restrictions. Like, he was like, oh shit, I better slow down. And he kind of corrected himself, like, oh, I better not knock out Roy Jones. So I don't know. Could Tyson win at this age if it's a real fight, a real fight? I mean, Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury.
It's not.
It's not out of the realm of possibility to say that the old man can't still knock him out.
It would be funny if Tyson could hit Jake Paul, but Jake Paul can't really hit. Isn't allowed.
Then, only then he would beat him. Only then.
You think so? Because I feel like this is going to be a situation where Mike Tyson is always going to win. Like, He's the draw. Like, everybody loves Mike Tyson. And we're not talking about U.S. money here, guys. We're talking about international money. We are talking about people from all over the world wanting to tune in to see this fight. This is like probably going to net more money than Maypac, I believe.
Well, I mean,
but
honestly, I think Tyson could fight anyone.
Mike Tyson in any capacity whatsoever. They do not care. If they get to see Mike Tyson back in the ring
because they see him
what he's made of. They're gonna watch. They don't care
because they still see old Mike Tyson, which is why to you, Mr. CJ Hooker, and all these unrealistic people out there that keep saying that Mike Tyson beat the ever-living shit out of Jake Paul. Listen, if it goes into a real boxing situation, you thought Mike Tyson's lisp was bad now. Wait till you hear him talk after the damn fight.
Look, Rob, we got to admit something, right? Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury. I'm pretty sure.
Tommy Fury is an active boxer.
Listen,
he's
I'm
an
pretty
active
sure
boxer.
The inactive Mike Tyson can beat a Tommy Fury.
Then you're delusional too.
Maybe I am. Maybe I am, but he's still somewhat active, dude. He's not completely out of shape. He's not what he used to be. He has kind of gotten back into it. You know what I mean? He trained Ngannou, right? Yeah. I don't know if you've seen him training and showing some fight choreography for some of these movies that he's been in. But dude's still got some movement to him. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
He's still kind of fast.
A 58-year-old fighter. Look, what's the last thing to go? Now, Rob, come on. What's the last thing to go?
The power, baby.
Look, and first of all, can't even pass the drug test for this damn fight. That's if it is a boxing.
I don't think there is drug tests. It's not a fight. It's entertainment.
Yeah, my only thing is
even with drug testing, like in Florida, it's like you can't. They really don't want you to have no marijuana in your system the week of the fight.
See, Mike Tyson can't even do that.
Right, he can't even do
that. You know what I'm saying?
He has those little Holyfield ears he be eating.
They don't say you can't have no weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not in the rules.
Oh man, I couldn't do it.
I mean, Lucas, you'll be hungry. You'll be trying to eat. Look, it'll be another ear situation.
Brett Reed said it's because Jake Paul hadn't done that hard yards that the traditional boxers have done to get those big money, and he hasn't worked his way up to a contender status either. He's like journeyman level. No other journeyman is making that money. So it all comes down to him promoting himself the way that he does. And I'm glad he's taking the fight seriously. It's like he went from fighting these old MMA guys to I'm going to take it real. And I said I wanted him to do that. So I was not complaining about his last couple fights because they were real fighters. Now, were they in real shape? That's a different story, longer conversation that we aren't going to have tonight. That last guy that he beat, come on, man. That dude was not in shape at all. But to go from that to go to back to exhibition, it's like, what are you doing, man? I thought we were serious now. I thought you were going to be Jake Paul, the actual boxer and fighter. I didn't think we were going back to the celebrity shit.
I feel like, you gotta fill them coffers back up. You know what I'm saying? Like you did 2 fights, then you had the Serrano fight that you had to refund everybody. You've been putting on multiple most valuable prospect fights, in different at least in Florida and Texas. So, that money kind of like, you might see your money go down a little bit, and he might be like, yeah, let me do another exhibition and really make a lot of money so I can help a lot of more people and a lot more fighters that way. And that's how I see, that's what I like about him, is that he's not like just taking the money and money grab and not trying to invest something else into the sport, because he is. And so like, that's a big to me. So I'm a Jake Paul liker, and I say F the haters.
I'm not necessarily a hater, but you could say he's giving back, but everything he's giving back to boxing, he's also taking out. Let's not get it twisted. He is using the sport as an ATM, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't understand what you're saying, because he's making money and then he takes it and he elevates a female boxer to be the most highest paid female boxer ever.
You're talking about
taking other female boxers and helping their careers. Then he's taking other prospects and putting on shows for them. I mean, he is giving back in ways.
But he's also not doing these things for free.
Right.
He's using the sport still as his own stage, right? I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying that he isn't giving back some.
Made that kind of money has put back.
I'll do you one better, Lucas.
Like that.
Hold on, I'll do you one better. Oscar, I believe, did do better than this, but I'll do you one better. For me, in my hold on.
Somebody like Oscar,
in my opinion,
off the boxers. That's why they left. I'm talking about somebody that is investing their money, and they're not. These prospects.
I agree.
They're not making no money like that for him to make money off of.
Hold on, Lucas. I agree with you, Sakura, but
I'm just saying
he's not doing it. He's not doing it as a real promotion professional would do it, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is he's not putting the funds together, putting the money together to do what Oscar wants to do, which is make great fights. We have yet to see a Jake Paul promotion that was a great fight.
That's
or a great event.
Toronto versus Taylor. That was a most valuable promotions fight
for the women's. But let's be for the women. But for the women, yes. So on that, you can say he did something. But for the actual sport that we love, he's not putting together fighters or fights that do anything for us as boxing fans or anything at all.
Speak for yourself. He's putting together matches for prospects that's trying to get their 18.
Like the prospect that he.
Let me finish. Do you understand that when these boxers are like before they get to 18 or 19 fights, most of them are not making any money and end up paying for their own matchups, their own opponents? I mean, do you not understand that that's a big lift off them not to have to pay that money out to help build their record up to where they're more attractive for a bigger fight? Like, that's not no small deal. I know it might be to you, but don't say it's not a benefit to boxing community when there's boxers that are actually benefiting from what he's doing on the prospect level and also for women. So no, it might not be the matchup you want to see as far as men yet, but don't think that's not coming because Anderson Silva is who he's been working with on that level with the men, and he's slowly building up himself as well as a top contender. So these are all boxers that are now getting the platform, getting to increase their records in order to be attractive for major fights. When before it was all out of pocket. It all cost them money to fight.
But are not there yet.
Made more money than they made.
But are not there yet.
You can't cross over into this sport unless you're doing it for entertainment purposes. Because when you do, what happens is what happened to Ngannou. You can't compete at this level.
Yeah, but then
you were mentioning Anderson Silva.
No, not Anderson Silva. I was talking about his prospect.
He's talking about this other boxing prospect.
Yeah, Ashton. I'm sorry, Ashton Silva.
But
that's his male boxer that he signed.
No, I'm not familiar with any of these.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to say. That's my argument.
No, that's not what you're trying to say. You tried to say there was no benefit in what Paul was doing.
To us.
In the end, it's all
right now. To us.
It is for the boxing community. It is a benefit.
For them, but we don't care.
You don't care about the boxers?
I don't care about the prospects. I don't know who they are.
Well, and that's the whole point, is that you're building up their records so that you do know who they are.
And then at the same time, he does that, and then he promotes this damn kid from HBO who played Ashtray on Euphoria or Stars or whatever the hell it is. So then he does shit like that.
So what?
That ain't helping.
It ain't hurting. That's a whole nother business. He's supposed to just stop doing other ventures because he's a boxer and he's trying to learn boxing.
We need
and he
to.
knows boxing, so he can't have
Lucas, help me out here.
We need to go some comments.
Boxer, they can't have no real estate investments because it's not with boxing. Come on,
Shakur, go ahead.
I hope that Tyson
right now.
I hope Tyson decapitates this motherfucker, and we never have to hear from him ever again. But,
I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen.
I will recognize that he's done a lot for women's boxing. So hats off to you, Jake Paul. But I hope you get your ass whooped.
The women he has came through for, that's for sure. I'm more speaking about riding off the back and building his name off knocking out ex-MMA guys and taking advantage of his youth as he's doing now. That I'm not all the way cool with. I'm not. That's for a different night, though. We could beat that to death. Coach Lou wants to know what we need to ask what Netflix is up to with hosting this fight. I think this is just it. Boxing is losing its homes, man. We don't have no HBO. We don't have Showtime no more. Like, boxing's been getting kicked out. This is boxing dying, and we're watching it. I mean, it's falling out of everywhere. It is slowly diluting, and it's just going back to wherever it can grasp. And right now, it's holding on to a thin string. It's caught on to Netflix. It's caught on to Prime, and they're hoping that with all of their viewers that we can start building back again. But it's slowly bleeding out. Okay.
You're talking to people. You're talking to Lucas, who refuses to pay for a real competitive pay-per-view.
No,
the ones that actually he wants to see, he still doesn't pay for, and he's wondering why there isn't a Showtime or HBO anymore. And not to mention,
that's the exact opposite. What are you talking about?
Don't even have real cable anymore. So where else were we going to ever watch these fights?
Sakura, I said HBO. I didn't say HBO pay-per-view. I didn't say nothing about pay-per-view. Pay-per-view used to be for the upper echelon, the A tier, the elites. Now it's just, hey, I'm Joe Schmo. I fight. I'm Glass Joe. I'm pay-per-view all the way.
Talking about why there are these other platforms, why there are these apps, and I'm saying most people don't even have traditional cable anymore to watch on something like that, a fight that's on HBO or whatever. You would have to have. I mean, and I still got it, but you got to have your regular, Spectrum or Comcast or whatever, AT&T. You got to have your traditional cable. Then you got to pay for the premium channel, which would be the HBO or the Showtime. Then on top of that, you got to pay for the pay-per-view. People just don't have that anymore. It's like more direct access from the Prime, from the DAZN, from the Netflix.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that in itself is killing the sport. If you don't even have access to watch the goddamn sport, it's gonna die. I mean, we can't do access though.
He don't want to. Lucas don't want to pay though.
Listen.
Lucas don't want to pay. That's what it is.
You're missing something.
Hang on.
Boxing is killing itself.
But I mean, it is. But the marketing of boxing is killing itself. Nobody's look. I was all for DAZN, and if you remember in the beginning, I praised the shit out of DAZN. A lot of fights, $9.99. It was coming out strong. I'm not paying $30. You promised the end. You promised the end of pay-per-view. Look, DAZN, you should know by now, and I don't even care if you're listening. $30. We're gonna stream your shit for free. All right, just mark it down to $9.99. Everybody will pay. But if you asking $30, half these motherfuckers are gonna cancel, right? And then we just get less access. You're less happy because you got less money. I'm still watching it. I'm still doing what I want to do. You're not stopping anybody from watching your fights. All you're doing is costing yourself money, and you're making your business look bad. You said time and time again, no pay-per-view. We're ending pay-per-view. And now you're doing, Canelo's fighting. We got to have pay-per-view. What the fuck? No, this is what's wrong with boxing.
It's not.
Everything is pay-per-view. Everything is
when they had it at $19.99. But then they sent me that bill for $34, and then it's really like $36.
Oh, it's $34 now?
I mean, $34 is with the taxes.
Oh, fuck that, man. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And to top it off, DAZ, you have the nerve to charge that, and then your production quality is straight hot garbage. Sometimes the audio don't come on. Sometimes the video don't come on. Fuck you, DAZ.
That's not.
Long story short, Lucas don't want to pay no money. Okay, that's what it is, everybody.
I ain't paying that.
Lucas is a cheapskate. He don't want to pay.
I paid for Showtime. I paid for Showtime. I paid for HBO.
Right.
You know, when that was some production quality, I'm paying for that.
Right.
That's good quality boxing. I am not paying fucking $34, especially for no shitty ass boxing. And then you want us to pay pay-per-view on top? It's not worth
That's not the issue.
But it is, because if you can't watch the sport, if the public can't watch the sport, James, it has no way to grow. It's slowly dying because it's like, hey, you want to see this? Got to give me that money. And this economy is terrible.
There's another angle here.
You just said,
and it brings out the hater. It really, really brings out the fucking hater in me.
Well, I am, but
I mean, I got to ask you guys. I really want your opinion on this. How sickening is a fucking press conference these days? Who wants to watch that shit and then follow up with the fight? Yeah. It's off-putting. It's negative. We're using violence and stupidity to promote our sport.
We have changed subjects, James.
Well,
it's the truth. I'm just telling you the
You're
truth.
saying you don't want to hype up a fight with the press conference?
With violence?
Mike Tyson did it.
What violence are you talking about?
Mike Tyson did it, James.
Okay, so going back to, let's say, I'll just give you an example.
Okay.
Teofimo Lopez in his last post-fight interview. Sickening. It's fucking sickening. I don't want to watch that shit. Most people who are intelligent don't give a fuck about this. They just want the athletic appeal of this sport, and that's it. But we don't need. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. We don't need the hype. Put the two guys in the fucking ring. Get the three judges there. Get the ref in there. Everyone's got their Cokes and their fucking hot dogs. Let them fight.
You're right, James.
You know what?
Mike
you know what's happening to the sport?
Mike did it.
I can't go with you, James. I like the hype up. I like the build up. I don't want to see y'all being friends before the damn fight.
But they don't have to be.
Don't be shaking this dude's hands, and you supposed to be telling me that you got a aggression for him and you wanted to knock him out and stuff. I don't want to see y'all being friends before the fight. Like, you just ruined it for me.
It's not friendship, but their conduct and their.
I'm just saying, I don't want to see that. It's not like making me want to see y'all fight. If I feel like you're not going to be putting your all into getting rid of this dude in the ring, you're not.
I understand what you're saying, but my point is nobody needs the stupidity. It's shocking and it's insulting to promote a fight this way, or a sport with all this violence and all this stupidity and all this
decades.
Yeah, but it wasn't like this in the 60s and 70s and 80s. They had more respect for each other, and it was a respectable sport. And it's lost.
The most shit out of anybody.
Boxing is lost, and it's lost its way. Because it's being promoted. It's being promoted by a bunch of clowns.
Well, what James is trying to say is what Brett is exactly saying right here. And it's not necessarily the violence. I think it's the bizarreness.
It's the appearance of violence.
What Brett said is he feel like Mike Tyson wasn't acting. He said, I don't feel like that was an act.
Right. But guys like Ryan Garcia in a press conference acting the way he does is kind of cringeworthy. Teofimo Lopez to me is another one, James.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I pointed up earlier.
I feel
if it's genuine, then it works. Because I'm telling you, Tyson Fury, oh my God, that sucker right there know how to talk trash. And he means it. He means it all the way through the fight. Like, that's what I like. I like when it's genuine beef. It's genuine trash talking. You know what I'm saying? Not none of this fluff stuff that's you just trying to get bait for.
I agree. Look, there is time for trash talk. I think it can be done.
Yes,
I think it can be done well. You look at Mayweather, okay? He made funniness out of it. I always remember, and I laughed so hard. He was making fun of Sugar Shane Mosley. I don't even remember exactly what he said. He was making fun of his hair, and just pointing out things about him. That shit was great. And Pacquiao, when they were showing the training and they were hitting the other fighter with the the sticks on his belly, and he was like, "Good, he's gonna need that." That's shit talking I like. Like, I'm about to end this motherfucker.
Right. It's mental warfare that is helping your opponent be off basis in the ring, because he might be thinking about what you said about his, about his wife, and he's not thinking about like that you're finna like, put a 3-point combination together on him. Like, it's also a mental aspect to that. Can I get this person pissed off enough that he's thinking more about how you want to hurt me than how he's going to hurt me?
Right.
Well, the way,
but I do agree with James too, because like you get Canelo and Caleb Plant, it's like everybody is getting aggressive and slapping at each other now. It seems just to be a zoo on all of them. There's never any like situational stuff. It's just always like, oh, we got to cause some drama. It's like a soap opera every time.
But it's cheap.
It's exhausting. Yeah,
it's like they're
cheap, and you know what? It's off-putting, and that's why we're losing fans. Now, here's the thing.
It seems fake.
I think that they're placating to another audience, a younger demographic than us.
Yeah.
As far as the boxing, the established boxing fan, they're going after the younger, disposable income that wants the drama and wants to tune in, and they have the attention span now of like an ant. And so that's the only reason they're gonna watch is if they do see some drama.
And that's why Showtime said goodbye, because they don't need to put up with this shit.
I don't think.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Let's not say goodbye, because them numbers, they would have put up with anything if them numbers, that money number came out right, and they wasn't coming up right.
Thank you.
You got to think that those numbers were dwindling, and that was for multiple different reasons. A lot of which is these companies aren't getting the fights that they wanted. They're asking for specific fights, and if you notice now, speaking about Canelo, real quick, but. He wanted to fight Berlanga first, and people are like, we ain't paying you for that. Nobody wants to watch that. Even DAZN's like, no, fuck no. You got to come out with something better than that, because we're not buying it. Because if I do, I'm just losing money. I'm giving you money for nothing, because no one's tuning into that garbage.
Let me just say this about that. That goes to show you everybody bad talking PBC, because he's not getting Berlanga. It's Mungiao, and it's on PBC. So who has more money than DAZN? Obviously,
they was broke, and that's the reason why Canelo had to leave and fight on. That shows that these rumors are so full of BS. Like,
so eat y'all words,
right back Lucas. Up there.
I don't know. I think there still is problems with PBC.
Eat your words, Lucas.
We don't know
on that one.
I can't see their income. All I'm telling you,
there's problems with PBC. Then there's definitely problems with DAZN, because they was like, I'm not. No, we not.
Couldn't make it happen.
If PBC was good, Showtime would still be around. That's what there is to
Canelo was never with Showtime. He did one fight with them, and then he went on to something else.
Yeah, I didn't say nothing about Canelo. I'm just saying if PBC has been running Showtime there for a while, so if PBC was doing good business, Showtime would still be in business.
Now for Canelo Munguia,
not necessarily, Lucas.
Is there 2 broadcasters here, or is just one?
Both.
2. It's 2.
Both.
So DAZN is also broadcasting this?
They're also going to get the broadcaster, because Munguia is Golden Boy.
Oh, okay. All right. I see.
Right. So
here we go.
My thing is,
we are in the area of fantasy boxing.
Content is golden right now. Content is what all these companies want to go towards. They want their apps to work, like Peacock and Amazon Prime, and you got what's my favorite? I like Paramount's app, like, and Showtime was a part of Paramount, who, they bought the company from CBS, like they merged. And then you had a whole new younger set of people in charge over there who are looking for their apps to be invested in and come up with more money. And they saw it where more money wasn't necessarily in Showtime Sports, but the money side and the subscriptions with their app is where the money's at. So they were like, we want to put our money over there. We don't want to put no more money in Showtime boxing. So
Well,
I mean,
Showtime did their due diligence and said, "Fuck this sport."
Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't shaking my head there. I felt like Showtime did what they could do with the tools that they were given. I feel like their broadcasting was perfect. Like the broadcasting and the production quality was amazing. Like nobody else right now is doing close to that. So I'm interested to see if Premier Boxing, how they're gonna look over on Prime and how that production quality is. It still gonna be maintained, or is it gonna be something where they're gonna have issues too? So
guaranteed.
I don't know who the
guaranteed to be better than DAZN.
Who's the I mean, that's not hard to beat. Not hard to beat.
Yeah,
what's
like
the commentary going to be
very
like
low
though?
bar.
Do we know who's running Prime yet? Because I have yet to see like
only thing I've seen different is
announcers.
Showtime Porter. I've only seen Showtime Porter being the one that was doing like the press, asking the questions that Brian Custer used to do.
Mm-hmm.
At the so that's the only change I've seen is that they've brought on board Showtime Porter.
Yeah,
shout out to Sean Porter. He does a really, really great
yeah,
job.
He's good.
Hopefully
Porter.
Yeah, hopefully we get a good cast of characters there, but I don't.
Mike Tyson. Okay.
I don't know.
Throw all our other topics out the window, Lucas. Throw them in the trash tonight.
Well,
it's over.
Wasn't it?
I mean,
it's over.
We only had one other thing to talk about, so it basically is it. First one, pull Brett's comment back up here. Keith Thurman looks sharp in training, looks fitter than ever before with 2 years inactive. But do you guys really think that he can be slick enough to avoid those powerful body shots against Tszyu, who cuts off the ring almost as good as Canelo does? I think Thurman's going to be able to for a while. The question is can he do it the entire fight? That's better, easier said than done. I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people
so hard
on this hype train with Tim Tszyu, like he's a freaking god or something. And then when I go back and I look at these opponents, it's great that he stays busy. He does have that element, Rob, that you were talking about, where he's been staying busy despite the boxing politics. But when you look at the record of those opponents and you verse it against the record of somebody like Keith Thurman, that's gonna be a very interesting night. I think that is a way more competitive fight than people think it is. And I was able to go to the gym and see Thurman this weekend, and I have never, and I mean I've never seen him in that type of shape and that freaking focused. I don't think this is going to be an easy night for Tim Tszyu. It's not going to be nothing like we've been his usual opponents and what we've been seeing him do. And also, Keith Thurman looks in excellent shape. Like he don't look like he's not been active.
He's always been in good shape.
Yeah, like for
he's always.
When he came back with Baroque, when he was in the last fight, he
dedicated
had for a year, and he freaking came in looking amazing. Like it wasn't much ring rust there. So
it's just hard to get behind him when you don't see him for so long.
But I'm just saying, people are on this hype train with Tim Tszyu, and it's like when you go back and look at the records of his opponents, it ain't equaling up to the records. A record that like Keith Thurman got. It just isn't. So if you just go on experience and their opponents and who they fought, it's gonna be a nice fight. I'm like totally looking forward to it.
I agree. Good night, y'all. I agree.
What you got going on?
Last thing, Morel Andre is set.
Oh, is that it's confirmed? I didn't know
it is. It's confirmed now.
Lord.
I don't know. I still think Andrade, whatever you want to say, is
Andre.
It's just it's too much for him in weight. I don't. I think he needs to go down. I don't know.
I only
I think
got
he placed Canelo up here, and now he's just left out in the wilderness.
They
It's
just
not
like
good.
throwing him in there with the biggest super middleweights that's out there that others will not fight. And I don't know what team he has in place, but Andrade, this is not where it's at. I mean, this Morrell is everything that people think that Benavidez is the boogeyman or the monster. No, it's Morrell. That is Cuban pedigree, that has American training, that is power, that is young, that is still hungry. That is not the matchup. He's one of the bigger super middleweights in that division. Andrade is one of the smallest.
Yeah.
They need to stop. Like, they're just using Andrade to make, boxers, their A-side boxers active.
Yeah,
But I got to tell you why
I
he's
agree.
hungry. The reason he's hungry is because he's Cuban. They come from nothing.
That's
They
true.
come from nothing. That they make it to the United States and work their asses off to get to this point. But I want to give you my prediction on this fight. My prediction is, Andre, it was nice knowing you.
I mean, and isn't that it though? Like, it just seems like this isn't even enough for Morrell. This is not enough to showcase what he's capable of. I mean, does Andre even deserve this shot?
Name on this record. It's just the name on his record. That's what it's gonna be. That people recognize.
Yeah.
And Andrade is taking a huge he's taking a huge risk with his medical, because Benavidez already had him looking like a rag doll in there, guys. Like, his head was like bobbling everywhere. And I'm so glad they stopped that fight when they did. And I don't see this particular matchup. Like, Morrell has power enough to really knock you completely out. He's already had someone, an opponent, to have a serious brain injury. This is not where it's at.
No, Andre's got to stay on the outside on this one, and that's very difficult to do. This guy's well trained. He knows how to cut.
Yeah,
and he's got an excellent jab, and he follows power punches. So Morrell is tough, and I was hoping to see Morrell fight Canelo, but that's not going to happen.
Benavidez. What happened to Benavidez versus
happen.
Morrell? They nipped that quick.
Yeah, this is why boxing is dying too. I mean, again, this is two names, yes, but basically a pointless fight. We already all said it, right? This is not competitive, and this is for a title. Even the title is supposed to matter. This is supposed to be it. That's the pinnacle. And there is no pinnacle of boxing. This is what draws down the sport. There's already 4 titles, and even the motherfuckers that got titles fight like this. What's the point?
Well, they dropped it. The ABC made WBA drop one of the titles, so they're trying to merge them all. So it's still, but there's still 3 of them. But this is where it came into play with Morrell having the WBA regular champion. And then they had Berlanga as the number 1 contender. And then they had Canelo as the super champion. Like, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a headache. Boo Boo should have dropped down to 1. I agree. He needs to go down. This fight it's just pointless. It is. But regardless,
it's boxing.
set.
It's boxing, and it does whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
I mean, and no disrespect to Andrade, he's an amazing boxer.
Agreed.
Like, he's maxed at 160.
He's gone way above his limit.
Like, he doesn't have a choice at this point, because he's been his entire career without really making a huge payday. Yep. I mean, I'm sure his biggest payday was the Benavidez fight. So now he's in a position where he has to take who they want to feed him, because he needs to make this money. Before he knows his time is,
Well, he was off. He has a lot of layoff in his career.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad because we're never going to know.
Issues, all that stuff.
But I think he was waiting for that Canelo fight that never materialized.
Yeah, he chased
his own promise
all the way up here
to get him to sign.
Yeah, I think he wanted
Canelo. Was like, come with us.
It never materialized. Canelo at 160 just never happened.
No,
and he
yeah,
never had Triple G either at 160. And they were all together with Berenko. All of them signed to fight on the zone.
Yeah, but the clock doesn't stop ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he chased it all the way up here, and I think he overextended. This is too much weight for him. And the sad thing is we're really never going to know how good of a fighter he is, because now he's fighting out of his element. He's already kind of set himself up for failure in a way. I mean, I agree with what this person is saying. He needs to go down to 160. Hell, he might even be able to make 154. He's a little guy. He's not, this big guy. So
who is at 160 now? Jenna Beck and Lara. They're 2 title holders.
Hey, I mean, a win over Lara is still a big thing to do. I mean, make that fight happen, but
Lara
stay away from this weight.
Yeah, but Lara's name's coming up on a future card. He's going to be defending pretty soon.
Yeah,
I forget who it is, but he's got a fight coming up.
Well, Danny Garcia wanted that fight with Lara. Remember?
That's true. I mean, I don't understand what Danny Garcia doing up there either.
Well, I'd rather
back to that.
I would rather see an Andrade versus Danny Garcia or an Andrade versus Lara.
I think Danny Garcia's been hanging out with one time. I should say none time, but one time.
Chill. Don't be going in too hard on my St. Pete.
No, man, I love none time.
No,
I said chill now.
I'm looking forward to Zoo Thurman. And it's just the layoff. I really like Thurman. I think he's very capable. It's just that layoff is the only thing that's really got you questioning much.
I don't think it's
I think
it's not like the type of layoff. It's not the type of layoff you think it is.
Jacobs. I don't think. I think Golovkin's done. I don't think he's coming back. No, I think he is retired. He's finished with boxing. And it's probably what's for best.
He let all his belts go too. He let all the belts go.
Yeah, he's
not only that,
shadow of what he was.
His conditioning is not.
No,
he's got a dad bod now, pretty much.
Yeah,
it's a Golovkin dad bod, but he's been marketing his beverages, and so more power to him. But he's got a Triple G beverage out there.
What kind of beverage is it? It's like a Monster drink or like a. What is it?
I think it's more protein, but more protein based than it is like sugar and speed and all the bullshit they put in those beverages. But I don't know. I've never tried it. I don't drink those things. I drink beer.
I'll drink it. I'll drink it for a Golovkin. I like Golovkin.
Yeah, me too. I'll buy it even if I don't like it. I'll buy one time.
Maybe I'll order one or something.
I'm willing to try it.
Triple G is a beverage, and it's what he does now.
It should be like a melatonin type drink. That way it can be like Triple G. It'll knock you out.
Oh man!
You should be in marketing.
I definitely got to send you that information on that on the kid, Ashton Sylvie, because he's from Longwood, California, and you need to see him.
Yeah, he's from where?
Longwood, California, like Snoop Dogg territory.
Lakewood.
No, Longwood.
We don't have a Longwood.
Well, it's the beach. It's the beach. What is it?
Long Beach.
Huh?
Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach.
That's where Snoop is
He's
from.
Long Beach. I'm sorry.
Although he's from North Long Beach.
Here's CJ. Fight of the year will be Kambosos versus Lomachenko. I called the upset, and Lucas, I'll be coming on the show. If you make that kind of call, CJ, you damn sure are coming on the show, buddy. But yeah,
Lomachenko is not losing to no Kambosos.
I don't see it either. I mean, Loma's getting old. He's getting up there. He's slowing down. Maybe CJ sees something I don't. I mean, it's very possible. But all right, CJ. I'll remember that. I got that. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a great show. James, thank you. And Sakura, also thank you for coming back on. We appreciate you guys coming on. And all the commentating, it helps keep the show going. And I think it definitely helps the flow of everything. So definitely keep those coming. Again, every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. As always, we don't pull any punches. And we'll see you next week.